So this is my final essay presentation for communication. My essay is about the Roman Empire's dependence on the infrastructure for travel and why it was significant. Essential question is, how did the Roman civilization innovate efficient methods to travel across the territories? My thesis was that the Roman civilization managed to establish and spread their means of economic growth and shift road systems, as well as solidifying Roman rule in new territories and further securing establishing provinces. Basically, that the roads helped them establish themselves in new territories which they conquered, and also it was necessary to maintain the vast amount of trade and move of goods necessary to sustain a huge empire with many people, evenly and efficiently. That is a map of all the roads that they have established that we know of today. So we can see that how it may be significant, and how once observing this map, my thesis is pretty much proven correct, but I will dive into how it is technically and specifically correct, because it is, because I say so. So the outline of the essay is pretty much the first paragraph gives an overview of the Roman Empire from an economic perspective, what they did and why the roads were established. Then I give a background to the road development, then the economic and political adaptations to the infrastructure, how the people adapted to the roads existing, how they grew communities and small cities and towns, and how new businesses were established like inns and maintenance stations to ensure that travelers were kept safe and that they could be going on the road and continuing traveling and trading as they go along. Also, politically, they had to centralize the road development, of course. So there were regulations, there were laws, and they had political offices established. Significance of stable state of economies, why the roads were essential for economic movement. Significance of political agenda and territorial growth, why it was significant to keep political power within the huge empire that I just showed on the map, and why it ensured territorial growth, which is military movement. You need roads for that if you are the Roman Empire. Then I gave a conclusion, and the thing about the conclusion, for which I want to apologize, miss, is that the final, over here you may see a red line. That was supposed to be a final paragraph, which is the conclusion paragraph. I did not, in fact, make that into a paragraph. So that was an error on my side. Maybe not noticeable, but I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. I'm an honest guy, right? So yeah, sourcing process. First of all, I used Wikipedia to gather the key concepts and words which I wanted to research. Then I wanted to determine from what lenses I wanted to make the study, which I already knew. But from a keyword perspective, it was important to determine that I wanted to focus on the trade and the political aspects. Google Scholar I used for primary sources, so I gathered essays and books which were filled with essays of academic background. Then I watched some documentaries and read some academic blogs and some extra support from Wikipedia to get a more holistic view on the idea. The conclusion of the research is in the final paragraph. You may read it over here if you want to. So I pretty much proved my thesis, right? The key takeaways I had from a business and economic perspective is that once someone has control over a huge territory, you need to really invest in the ways of making sure that you secure your power. So it is important to have that infrastructure in order, and also to supply it with trade, with goods, with agricultural goods. You need a flow that is even and efficient, so that was also roads. Cultural perspective, well, the roads kept the cultures connected by allowing travel between provinces and Rome. So a lot of intercultural exchanges were pretty much set up that way. Political perspective, pretty much the same as a business and economic perspective. I just put it there as an extra bullet point. I did not dive that deep into the politics in the end. Why this topic? Well, initially I was going to do something on Hungarian cuisine, and why it is superior to Italian and French and all the other big shots. But I already did an essay on that, which I did not want to dive that deep into. Also, it's kind of hard to support it with academic sources, so I decided to switch subjects. I was initially going to do something about Warhammer 40k and related to the Roman Empire, because I worked on the Roman Empire before, not for essays but for presentations in school, so I had a lot of information available already. So I thought I'd expand on that and just make it more business oriented. That was my presentation. I hope it was not too long. It's over 5 minutes, approaching 6 minutes, so I might have overshot the 2-minute mark, but in the end, it is what it is. So yeah, hope it was satisfying. And 6 minutes, and we're out. Goodbye.